Malacanang calls on new Ombudsman Samuel Martires to immediately comply with the palace dismissal of overall Deputy Ombudsman Arthur Carandang. Martires has yet to take his oath of office.
It's immediately executory, and we would want to see that the order be implemented immediately as soon as the new ombudsman takes his oath.
Malacanang orders Carandang's dismissal days after President Rodrigo Duterte appointed Martires. The palace had earlier suspended Carandang, who was in charge of a probe into Duterte's alleged ill-gotten wealth, for disclosing the president's bank records. Then Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales had defied the palace order, citing a Supreme Court ruling that the president cannot discipline a deputy ombudsman. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says Carandang can appeal Malacanang's decision.
That if former Deputy Ombudsman Carandang disagrees with it, then he can avail of judicial review. No? Clearly, he violated the Anti-Money Laundering Act himself when he made public certain documents which was later on confirmed by AMLAC not to be accurate. No? So it was really chismis on a matter that should have been handled on a confidential basis.
Malacanang fired Carandang for allegedly violating the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees when he spoke about Duterte's bank transactions in public. House Speaker Gloria Arroyo on Friday says no one in the House of Representatives will get zero budget under her leadership, including the opposition. She says this is her gesture of goodwill as new speaker. Her predecessor, Davao del Norte Representative Pantaleon Alvarez, threatened the opposition lawmakers, especially those critical of President Rodrigo Duterte. Infrastructure budgets for their districts will be slashed or reduced to zero. Arroyo says her policy is in line with her function as Speaker, which is to help the congressmen serve their district's most immediate needs. Since she became Speaker, Arroyo has been busy going to areas hit by flooding. Following her rise to the speakership and the Duterte administration's bid for charter change, critics say Arroyo wants to become Prime Minister under an amended charter. Ivanka Trump distances herself from some of her father's policies and rhetoric. U.S. President Donald Trump's daughter says the immigration crisis has caused her anxiety. She says, quote, "I am very vehemently against family separation and the separation of parents and children." Trump also distances herself from her father's relentless condemnation of the media. She says, quote, "No, I do not feel that the media is the enemy of the people." Her words come in stark contrast to those of her father's hours later, when he dubs journalists horrible, horrendous people while speaking at a Pennsylvania rally. The UN Security Council favors a U.S. proposal aimed at removing obstacles to delivering humanitarian aid to North Korea. North Korea's humanitarian crisis has left about 10 million people, or nearly half of the population, undernourished. In 2017, UN officials reported a drop in food production. A U.S. proposal put forward in July would provide clear instructions to aid organizations and governments that would exempt aid for North Korea from sanctions. Once approved, a notice will be sent to the UN's 193 member states by the committee. The move comes as the United States calls for maximum pressure on North Korea to compel Kim Jong-un to follow through on his pledge to denuclearize the Korean peninsula. A U.S. official says the guidelines would ensure that only critical, life-saving humanitarian activities needed in North Korea can continue. Former child actor CJ Ramos is arrested late Thursday in a drug buy-bust operation conducted by the Caloocan City Police. Police reports say Ramos was caught with an alleged pusher, the original target of the operation. A sachet of what looks like shabu worth 500 pesos was confiscated from Ramos. In a report by News 5, Ramos admits using drugs 3 days before his arrest and says he started using drugs 10 years ago. He also tested positive in a drug test. Ramos was a member of the 90s youth-oriented variety show Ang TV. Early in his career, he starred in films such as Tanging Yaman and Ang TV movie The Adarna Adventure. Recently, he starred in Cinemalaya films, including the military film Recruit, the drug mule drama Kuchera, and the prison movie Posas.